What's going on, y'all? We back at y'all again with another spectacular show for y'all. This is Walt.
Yeah, this is Jay.
And we are the I'm Right, You're Wrong podcast.
Yeah. Hey, welcome back. Another week, man.
Another week at it, man.
Yeah. We getting it. Hey, so what you been up to, man?
Man, the grind, the 9 to 5. Pretty much it, man. Trying to figure it all out just like everybody else.
Well, 9 to 5, 7 to 7, 7 to 3.
Yeah, I know, right? You get on me all the time.
Hey, so I was telling my wife, right? I've been trying to lose weight. Like, I'm good at where I'm at, but you get to a point to where it's like, okay, I really want to lose some weight, really want to do some things. So I signed up for a half a marathon.
How many? Half a mile?
Half a marathon, so it's 13 miles.
Yikes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do that in March.
That's what's up.
March. No, April. I think I got to go back and look at it, but I think we're gonna do a 5K, and then we're gonna do. I wanted to do a 5K, then a 10K, then a.
So it's just like a marathon of completion, not like a first, second, third, like now.
Yeah, nah.
Oh, okay.
Nah. It's just something. It's just something that I want to do just to kind of focus, because I don't know if I can really, lose, because I want to lose about 60, and I don't really know if I could do that if I don't have like a target, like something I'm working towards.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just trying to eat just to lose. Just
a regular typical diet standard, like eat healthy and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, for what? Why?
Right.
I've been out training, man, and I'm at 2 miles now, but that's like jogging and walking. So
that's what's up, man.
Nothing
wrong with that, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, me personally, I guess you say I have a midlife crisis, because I have been looking into going back to school for becoming it's not nothing like super crazy, because I don't like investing it so far as into debt, but it comes with the territory. But I just can't wrap my head around like being in debt for learning something. But anywho, it's called operation surgery technician. So you basically sterilize the operation, the OR, and you assist with the surgeon with sometimes they have you do certain things. Other than that, you hand them the tools that they would need throughout the operation, whether it's open heart surgery, whether it's just a simple, I guess, a regular routine surgery. So I've been looking into that, and I'm contemplating if I should go back and go ahead and like really lock it down and just say, the hell with it and do it. But I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see.
Hey, I mean, look, go for it. Why not?
Debt. Nah, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now currently. But yeah, I'm like you, man. Strive to do. I'm just interested in something, and everybody. I mean, not everybody, but a lot of people have operations done. I just think overall it'd be very interesting and observing that kind of, I guess, procedure being done, and I don't know, just real interesting to me.
Hey, that'll fit you. You be sterilizing and putting that hand sanitizer on everybody.
I know, right up my alley, right?
Right up your alley. Me, I messed that thing all up.
Yeah. Now, you definitely got to be, and that's the thing, you got to be on point. Like, I've been looking into it, and it's like, you got to know your shit. I mean, because, like, if the surgeon say, hey, hand me this instrument, and you hand him, you can't make that mistake in the middle of an operation. Yeah, you got to know, like, exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's a matter of seconds or minutes. Like, you really got to know what you're doing when they ask you for instruments, and you got to make sure no one gets infected. Like, you just really got to be on point when it comes to that.
I was going to say, that's the big thing. Like, you got to make sure everything is sterile, because this stuff is going into people's bodies.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure, like, that it's not just clean, that it's sterile. That
absolutely.
It's fully good to go. Yeah, man, sure, go for it, man.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm heading in that direction. I've been, had a few phone calls about it and all that good stuff. So, I think I'm going to go ahead and do it myself personally, to be honest with you.
Yeah, man. So when you doing it? When?
Listen, man. You got to think about this. Nah,
man.
To be honest with you, I'm probably looking at early next year.
Okay.
To start. Right now I'm just getting the nuances of it all together, what I need, admissions and tuition and the cost of everything, and at the end of the day, what I'm going to be walking away owing. So
when I'm deep in my half a marathon running, you'll be back in school.
Yeah, probably. It's looking like that.
Okay. All right. That's good, man, that you put it out there, man. Hey. And that's why I wanted to put the marathon thing out there, because it kind of holds us accountable.
Well, I gave a disclaimer. I said I was in the midlife crisis.
I know. You gave yourself a way out. I ain't give myself no way out. It is what it is. I'm doing this thing, man.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So what we kicking the show off with, man? What we talking about today? This episode, what we getting into?
Man. We're going to have a race discussion.
All right.
A race discussion today, man.
Okay.
Look, with everything that's going on in our society,
yeah.
I think going back to the whole the George Floyd situation, the murder, the George Floyd murder,
pretty much.
That has awakened, I guess, a sleeping giant in our country.
Yeah.
In the world.
I was about to say, the world too.
Yeah. But, there are a lot of things that I think that are still being missed. So, but we need to have that type of discussion. So that's what we're on today. Let's talk race.
All right. Let's get it started, man. Let's do it.
All right. So here's my first question, right?
Shoot.
What is the race?
To me, in my opinion, the race is this goes all the way back to what we was talking about when I was at work. To me, it's classism mixed in with a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for when you get people hating one another. It causes conflict.
Yeah,
it causes conflict. It causes class. It's classism to me at its root. It makes people feel entitled. It makes people feel that they are above or they better than. That's just my opinion. For those who it apply to, of course, not saying everyone is a racist, but for those who it apply to me, at the root of it all, it's hate, it's classism, it's dividing, it's all like negative things. It's nothing that's positive to me that comes from race. You identify by it, but for people who are disenfranchised, what is their race? You know what I'm saying? Do they do the homework to realize, to look to see where they really originally came from, or their lineage, or their, you know what I mean? Like an in-depth look of their lineage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that. It does a lot of horrible things, but I guess on the flip side, the only thing that I could think of that's positive is like it causes you to go back and reflect and really look at like your ancestry. Like it really makes you go back and really look at like, where did my family originally, like where did we come from? Like literally, where did we come from? So that's the only positive spin I could put on like racism and all that good stuff.
Well, I do want to differentiate racism from race.
Okay, maybe I misunderstood what you said.
Yeah. No. Nah, I mean, you it sounded like you were kind of linking them together, and they are linked together.
Right.
But I want to differentiate the two.
Okay.
So when you talk about race, right? If I said Usain Bolt was in a race, what would you think? What would come to your mind?
Me knowing Usain Bolt?
Knowing Usain Bolt and knowing a race. What would come to your mind?
He's in the race. I would think of him like the athlete Usain Bolt.
Okay. So he's running, right?
Right.
So to break it down, like a race is a competition.
Okay.
All right. So it's a competition between, if you're looking at track and field, it's a competition between athletes and they're running.
Okay, yeah.
And we're in a race. Race is a competition. So I heard Dr. Claude Alexander talk about it this way. And when he was talking about it, I was like, I think he has a very valid point there. Like, it's a competition to the top. And so let's say this is the Olympics and you're in a race. Well, you have all these different countries lined up and everybody's racing against each other to get to the finish line, right? Mm-hmm. It's a competition. And so I think one thing that we miss is that this, what we all have bought into in this race is the fact that it's a competition. And so we're sitting back looking at race and we're in the Olympics lined up, gun goes off, and we're just standing there and we're not moving. Or even if we do move, we move a little bit, but we don't realize that we're in a race. Even though, it's interesting. Some of the things that are right in front of our face are the things that are so hidden from us. So, one, it's a competition. Race is a competition. Now, when you talk about racism,
right,
or racist, if it's a competition, right, going back to Dr. Claude Alexander, if it's a competition and somebody sides with their race, is racism a bad thing?
It's a bad thing when it's used. Yeah, it is. Racism, because I can't spin that. Racism is hard.
I don't know anybody that would spin it.
It's somebody out there. It's someone out there. Trust me.
I don't know anybody that would spin it and say that it's a good thing.
Believe me.
I don't know.
There's somebody out there that would justify it somehow, some way.
Well, but if you're looking at it from the standpoint, like I said, with Dr. Claude Alexander, in the sense that this is a competition, then racism would just be leaning towards your team.
Yeah, but it's multi-layered. It's not as simple as what he's saying. I mean,
I agree.
It's not just a race. It's a race that's rigged. It's a rigged race.
Yeah.
Like the judges are in, and the dude who shoot the pistols is in, and then like everybody, the audience is in, or like everybody is rigged.
Yeah.
If you want to put it in that analogy, where it's like in a race kind of like it's rigged. It's a rigged race. It's like a super rigged race. I mean, if you think about it,
there is yes, it is rigged. And there are a certain category of people that's starting off. The guns goes off and they are in chains. They are, they being held back.
Exactly.
By the referee, where everybody like, okay, y'all go.
Y'all get the head start.
Yeah, y'all get the head start. Matter of fact, y'all probably got 200-300 years head start.
Yeah, that's a fact.
But I think that we miss one thing that we miss is I would agree with him on the basis that it has been made into a competition. What races do we have? Like in America.
What you mean, like so far as?
Well, you know what? I don't even want to jump there yet.
Okay.
I don't even want to jump there yet because that's going into. Let's go into the chains that have hold us back. So if this race is getting started, what are the chains that's holding us back?
Not knowing self-worth.
Okay.
Not knowing our full potential and our capability. And ultimately, it's not our fault. I'm not saying that we're like hopeless, But I mean, think about this rationally. If you're brought up into a society that never speaks, or the common knowledge that where I am located, where I live, the system that I was raised in and brought up in, we don't hear about, we're not taught about ancient Kemet, or so far as like the true knowledge of our ancestry, so far as them being kings and queens and how they accomplish phenomenal things. We only hear about from the part where I have only heard, growing up as a kid, I only heard about starting basically from slavery, how we were captured and we were abused and the kids were like tied to horses and ripped apart and like all that kind of stuff. I didn't hear about like how we built the pyramids and how we accomplished like just medicine and astronomy, like so many different things, like how the pyramids are aligned with the universe and the brightest stars and things like that. That didn't happen by accident. Like these people out, like they were phenomenal people. Like their brain was amazing. They were really smart people. So we don't hear these things.
Right.
We hear, like I said, pretty much from, I only can speak for myself. I only heard starting literally from racism, like like slavery.
Slavery, yeah.
It all started basically from like even roots, like Kunta Kinte, and like they were captured and brought here in these shores, and we were basically given our identity, given our language, everything was given to us. We were completely detached from any original anything of us. We didn't know anything about ourselves or anything like that. And from there is now, like, unless you personally, go on your own and seek information, or I don't know if they're teaching this in schools and things like that now or in colleges, but when I was coming up, we didn't have access to that information.
Right. Well, I think the new roots, the second version, tried to show that our history didn't start with slavery. So there are.
I didn't even know it was another roots.
Yeah. It was redone. So I don't remember how many years ago, maybe 5-6 years.
I got tired of like the slave. It's like every year 3, 4, 5 like slave, like new slave. Like dude, if you seen one slave, it's like
it's 12 years a slave.
I'm good. Like I seen it. I already know what happened. Like, I'm good on that story.
But I think they did a decent job in trying to show that.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
History did not start with slavery. They show some kind of history before Kunta Kinte gets taken.
Right. That's good.
So, but not, we get caught up in that. And then, so we get caught up in slavery.
It's not necessarily getting caught up. Think about it though. If you think about it and you realize like your lineage, like your ancestors were brutally murdered, like we're human, right? So we feel emotion. We feel some way about that.
Yeah.
So I get why we get caught up, so to speak, but that happened. And us being human, we can only imagine like what they went through.
And I get that. There's a professor, I listened to her. I want to say her name is Dr. DeGrew. Anyway, so don't quote me on the name, but she has this theory, this post-traumatic slave syndrome theory. And so she talks about that. She talks about cognitive dissidence. She talks about different things that basically the traumatic effects that have lingered on from slavery.
And I was about to just go touch on that, right? So we have mental health has always been a thing, but like I said, it's more in your face now. Yeah. Like that happened. And there was no counseling, no therapy. No one ever was giving any form of help from that. Like generation after generation, no one said, hey guys, are you guys okay? Like no one, no one has ever said, okay, you guys learned what happened to your ancestors. Do you need help with therapy to talk about this, to help heal?
Right.
Everyone gets healed, but when it comes to like the trauma that like you said, the doctor that you referred to.
Yeah.
Like that's a real thing. Like that's a thing. Like we still suffer from that. Like I said, we know like that happened and we see these things and like it's not something you just say, "Oh, okay, that happened. Like, let's just move on now."
Right.
It's trauma behind that.
Yeah, no, and it affects your behavior. It affects different things, and we know that as we see, today, if you see a family or a mother who was an alcoholic, and then the kid is an alcoholic, and then the grandkid is an alcoholic, and then the great grandkid has a proclivity to becoming an alcoholic, and it's like you see that pattern. That pattern has been embedded. Yeah, passed down from generation to generation, and part of the problem is, how do you get past that when you start, or like I said, get stuck on slavery, because there's really nowhere to go, because you don't know your history. So you can't look at that as a blip or a situation that occurred and then attached to something greater, because you don't have anything greater to attach to. That's your beginning.
Yeah.
But the reality is, your beginning doesn't start at slavery.
Yeah.
And that's what we don't get. Like, that's not being taught. There are people who are trying to put that out now, but for years when I was in school, it was believed that Christopher Columbus discovered America, right?
Yeah, that was a real, like, they put emphasis on that. Right?
Yeah. I mean, we got a holiday for that dude, and now we know that
he ain't
even set foot on America. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He and we ended up calling the Native Americans Indians because of where they thought they were, and they were totally in the wrong area.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting to me how we thought that this great landmass known as North America, that and the country that we call America, United States of America, is interesting to think that we had a few ships come over and land on this East Coast and met these Native Americans, and nobody else was here. Like, nobody else.
Yeah, that's false, though.
And exactly,
that's false. You gotta do your homework, but it's false.
Exactly. But that's part of the narrative that we've been told. And and when you really really start to look into it, then you start seeing, man, there were other people here. There were other races here. There was other ethnicities here already before Christopher Columbus so-called discovered America.
Yeah.
Before that time frame, there were already people here. So
they rewrote history with that one.
They rewrote history. History has been rewritten
many
by the winners of the race
many times, right?
Many times.
Yeah.
That's why we have a dude known as the Nazarene, who is blonde with blue hair from the Middle East. It's interesting how that happens, but so I don't want to say that we get stuck on slavery, but
it's something that's extremely difficult to move past. So I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah. I get it. I really do. I understand what you're saying.
And you know what? How can you move past it? All right, now I'm gonna start getting in trouble, but it is what it is. All right, so we have a constitution.
Yeah.
Right?
We do.
Now, I had this conversation with my brother, and talking about the Constitution and talking about us being 3/5
right
in the Constitution, right?
And that's still there to this
day.
Still
there.
2020.
Still there. That has not changed. And it's amazing to me how we can sit up here and justify. Like he was, we were having a discussion, and he was like, yeah, because of the voting and slaves it was, this and that. I get all that. And at the end of the day, it still calls you 3/5.
Yep.
So at what point do we get to where we say, hold fast, look, because, okay, just think of the psychological effects of this, right? If you're a child and you are learning about the Constitution and you are learning that this set of people are 3/5 of a human, that starts to get embedded in your subconscious. Now, you could say whatever you want to say about those people, but at the end of the day, the Constitution still calls them 3/5.
Yep.
You a little better than half of a human, but you're not whole. You're a little better than half.
You know, the craziest thing about it, though, scientifically, if you look at I know I'm a science guy, but I'm not even gonna get into all that.
No, hit it, because I think this is important.
You know, I'll just say this: really do your homework and study humans and what it all entails. I don't want to give it away. I want people to like really do your homework.
Yeah, don't go Nick Cannon on them.
Nah, I ain't gonna go Nick Cannon. Nah, but like really do your homework so far as the makeup of human beings, right?
Yeah. Look
into chromosomes, look into DNA, look into blood, look into like certain things of human beings, and then form your decision on what's human and what's not human. I'll say that.
But so, okay. What's human? What's human?
No, we're all human.
Okay.
I'm not saying no one is not human. Okay. That's why I'm saying you have to. That's how I learned. I learned from researching and doing things myself.
Yeah.
I'm not into just giving. Never take no one's word for it. Always research yourself is my point, right? Everyone's human. I'm not belittling anyone. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, it's ironic enough in the Constitution that we're, 3/5?
3/5.
3/5. But if you do your homework on certain things, you'll be surprised, I'll say. Again, I'm not going to tell you, but just do your homework.
And so, okay, since we done hit the Constitution, we're in the middle of this movement, right?
Yeah.
I want to say, the BLM movement probably started around maybe not Trayvon, but maybe Michael Brown, somewhere around there.
Yeah, possibly. I'm not quite sure, but
I'm not sure when it started, right? But there's the BLM movement, or the Black Lives Matter movement, and people are cleaving to it, like, the basketball players, they just started back on the NBA.
That's needed to me, though. People with the platform,
yeah,
to influence,
yeah,
that's needed.
But okay, but what if you are doing the right thing for the wrong? What if your intentions are wholeheartedly in the right place,
right?
But you're still misguided. You're still going 100 miles an hour, but you're just going 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction. You may be even if you're going in the right direction, you're still off a few degrees. And what do I mean by that? Okay, so I have never met a black person in my life. I've never met one.
Right, but that goes back into the subconscious, like, yeah, I understand what you're saying.
When people say black, right, they say, okay, it refers to my race and my skin color, my complexion.
Right.
Okay. I've never met a black complected now, complected, I don't even know if that's a word.
I know what you mean. Black complected. Stupid.
I just made that up. Well, we're gonna ride with it. So, but I've never met one. I've met some very, very dark-skinned brown people. I've met some of them. But me personally, now, I don't know everybody. So, and I haven't met every culture. So maybe there are some black people out there. I have not met one. So I don't know anybody that's black. And if it refers to your complexion, I know a lot of brown people. Yeah. Tan people, people that turn colors pink and all. I know different colors of people. I don't know any black people.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean,
like you, I've seen dark brown skin people or whatever.
I don't know any white people either. I've never met a white person. I've never met a white. I've met some pale people. Right. I've met some people, that are very, very light, but and maybe off white, maybe eggshell, but I've never met white people. I haven't met them.
This is why I say it all falls into like classism, and it's to me.
Well, see, but here's my thing, right? Okay, let's go back to the analogy of the we're in the Olympics and this is a race, right?
Right.
Now, you got the white people, but they could say, "Hey, I'm Irish."
Right.
I'm British. Okay, so now I got a flag. I got a nationality behind me. I got so my outfit fits my nationality. Right. And then you go to the black people. Who are you?
That's what I was saying.
What is your nationality? Like black doesn't. Oh, you're a Jones. Jones is the white.
Yeah,
the slave master name,
right?
So what was your name?
That's what I was alluding to earlier in the show.
Yeah,
you have to look. I would encourage everyone to look your self-worth. I mean, you could walk into a room full of black people or whatever people, the disenfranchised people in general. You could walk into a room and you could have high expectations. You could say something like, "One day, I'm going to own my own business and be my own boss, and I'm going to run and I'm going to have employees work for me." And like, if you're in a room full of your own peers, it almost comes off as just far-fetched. You can't, it's not something that you can achieve. Mm-hmm. But if you understand like your history and the history of your people, that's minute. That's not even, you know what I mean? That's nothing.
Right. It's like that. Okay, you're just getting started.
Right.
But in the eyes of your peers, they're black.
That's all the part of what I was saying.
And so when you're black, you have no nationality. You're not connected to any. A lot of people, most people in America will consider Barack Obama the first what?
Black president, right?
Right. Wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong.
Dead wrong.
You know how much flack I got for that?
Dead wrong. Dead wrong. Now we haven't had this discussion we haven't had this discussion.
I tend to stay away from.
But okay. So here's the thing, right? His father is not black. His father is Kenyan, right? Right. So his father has a nationality, like his father has a connection. So his mom is white, but she has a connection. He is truly an African American, or maybe
African born in America, or African that came to America.
Yeah, right. But he has some connection. He's not black.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Black is okay. Oh, think about this, right? If you're in school and you look up the word black and you see black plague, black male.
Yeah, all negative right. Yeah, like Malcolm X movie, right?
Right.
That was like a real thing.
All negative. Yeah. And then you say, well, I am black. And we get to the point to where we try to turn it into something positive. How? See, you got to understand, like, black was negative before you were black. You can't turn something positive that is inherently negative
by an opinion of a definition of a certain perspective, though. But I understand what you're saying. Like it
Okay.
was, the definition of it was always connected to negativity.
Always.
I've done plenty of research throughout my life. I'm not the oldest guy, but like you said, it always was attached to negative things. I've never seen the definition or something like it never was
something positive.
Positive. It was always like hard, like it was
until maybe the 60s or whatever when we get to Black Power and where we start trying to. That's like taking the N-word and making it something positive. Like it was negative before you had it. Before it was you, it was negative.
But see, the ill thing about that is even when you look into that, right? It's not nigger or nigga, but if you look into niggas, it's literally. It's connected to greatness. Do your homework again, guys. Like do your homework. The origin of the word, the original word was called niggas. Niggas, not nigger or nigga. It's niggas. Like that's all a part of Africa. If you do your homework, you'll understand like originally what that meant and what's connected to that by greatness. I jive you not, ladies and gentlemen.
Just do your homework. I remember. Kendrick brought that up in
oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, I had no idea.
He brought that up in one of his
That's a fact.
Things. And I mean, I get that. But back to black, it's never been positive.
Never.
And so you're trying to put this square peg in this round hole.
Yeah.
And it just
it's not gonna work.
Fit.
It's not gonna work.
You know what I'm saying? No matter how you try to put it there, it don't fit. At the end of the day, what people are realizing is that you're black. So you don't have any connection to anything. You're still 3/5.
You're unknown. You're unknown, basically.
Yeah, you good peoples. Right. Good peoples. You know what I'm saying? We care about you as people, but you don't know who you are.
Yeah, that's what like at the beginning of the show. You're not connected to anything. You don't know anything about yourself. You're not connected to anything like you're saying. You don't see if you don't know it, the show goes on.
And that's a dangerous place to be because then you sit up there and you say Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
And what are you saying? That these people who don't have any connection to anything that their life matters. And now I agree with that idea that that people matter, but I feel like you're doing the right thing and you're doing it in the wrong place. Because look, when this dude is able to kneel on a dude's neck for 8 minutes, over 8 minutes, and then they move his limp, dead body after he done called out for his mama. Why is it so easy? Why is it so easy for them to do that? And I would go back to say because they're black. You're still 3/5. You know, we're in 2020, and we would think that we would have advanced past certain concepts and certain ideas, but we have not. We're still in a place where black people aren't people. Like you're not a
systematically wise, we're not.
It's systematically, but even even in the minds and heart.
Well, that all is. See, that's the thing. Is all 360. You're getting hit with the government with it. That you're 3/5. Right. The school system is teaching you from slavery until now, so you're not getting any nutrients, so to speak, for your self-worth.
Yeah, and you're buying into it
because they don't know. It's not. You don't know anything else.
Okay,
you don't know other way. You don't know.
And you know what? That is true. So we need to figure out another way.
Yeah, that's why I say
because you're starting this race and you're black. You have no ethnicity. You have no connection to. And then why do so many people fight their connections with African if they have an African origin? Why it's almost like we're afraid to be African.
It's the lack of not knowing, to be honest. I think it's that we are so detached from a lot of things that, and it's sad. We just detached, and we're not, I don't want to say given, but the things that should already be in place so far as public schools and things like that, it's systematically kept away from us.
Yeah.
Purposely.
But that's what I'm saying. So when you go to black, you're already allowing it.
Yeah, but not knowing, right? They don't know. You don't grow up thinking. You don't. You're not think. Your mind not even. You're not even thinking about that growing up as a kid. You're a kid. You're growing up. You're going to school. You're having fun. It's not till like later in your life where you start seeing things and digesting it mentally and looking at it and reflecting on it. When you say, "Hold up, what's this about?" And then you reflect on it, and then you start having these thoughts. See, so offer somewhat of a solution to this problem is school reform. It should be certain things taught into the school other than giving blacks or whatever people credit for. Oh, they invented the hot comb, or they invented the stoplight, and stuff like that. You should really tell facts about people.
But see, the thing is, right, if we're in a race,
right, they're going to keep it from you,
and I cut the chains off you, it's a harder race.
You might get ahead.
Exactly.
You might catch up.
You know what I will do though? I'll keep the chains on you, but I'll let you get a head start. I'll move you up 5 yards. I'll give you a head start, but you still got that boulder, that chain attached to that boulder on you. And so we look at stuff like, welfare and
that's a whole nother rabbit hole we can get into.
Yeah, and then we look into it and we're like, okay, well, they're really trying to help. Yeah, as long as there's no man in the house.
Exactly. So, bingo.
You know what I'm saying?
Bingo. And you cannot have a male. See, this is what I mean by how it was systematically designed. Even redlining.
Yeah.
Even redlining. Yeah. We lived in suburban. We lived in great neighborhoods.
All those nice highways we got now.
What they call now, it's gentrification or whatever the case may be. Yeah, they made it more sophisticated.
That's the nice word for it now.
Right. It's all systematically done, man. I'm telling you.
It is. But we're still trying to get ahead. We're trying to take our 5 yard head start, not realizing that we got the chain still on us. So first things first, if you're not going to be black, what are you?
That's a good question. If you're asking me, to me personally, I'm African, born in America, or African in America, however you want to label it. But my origins, like my person, I've done my homework, and I'm before my people were born here, my lineage, my ancestors were born here. I'm from, I forget the name of it. It's Western Africa.
Okay. I haven't done mine yet. I listened to I think Chadwick Boseman. Boseman. He said when he did Black Panther, they had to do I don't know if they had to do or he just did it, but he did African Ancestry. They went to AfricanAncestry.com.
I want to go there.
Yeah, it's different than the other ancestry places.
Yeah,
because the other ancestry places they make a lot of money selling your stuff, but African Ancestry do not. They do. But so since
hold your history and sell it to you.
But since they don't make a lot of money off of it, it costs a little more. But you get to find out like where you're really, really, really from, and you have some connection, because if you're simply black and you don't have any connection to anything, then you're not in the game. You're not in the race. You go to the Olympics. Everybody has Jamaican.
They're all connected to some part of land somewhere on this planet.
Right. Everybody's connected. And then we sit up here and then we put on the USA and we're 3/5.
It's not that we hate the USA.
No.
A lot of people get that misconstrued because you're critiquing and you're criticizing the wrongs.
Right.
Just because you do that don't mean you hate where you are.
Heck no.
It doesn't mean that. Trust me, I love living here. I'm not saying that. But should I stand self-serving? Like, should I not speak on it? Should I not try to get what's broken fixed?
Right.
You know what I mean? That does not mean I'm not patriotic or like people like they told Cap he hate the military when he clearly said that.
Right. It wasn't about the military.
This is nothing to do with the military service. This has everything to do with police brutality. He said that.
Yeah.
And they still spent it and made it seem like, you know what I mean? So
yeah. But okay, so that goes into well, I mean, we're past that, but where did the police come from in the first place?
Aha. Listen.
Yeah.
Listen. That's
see, do you not have a right to be afraid of the people who have historically hunted you down?
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying?
The prison industrial the industrial complex itself is legal.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a legal form of slavery, basically.
And you know what? Maybe we could talk about this because I think the first thing that we need to deal with is our connection.
Absolutely.
Because like I said, I haven't met a black person, but I met a ton of people who connect and call themselves black.
Yeah.
And I mean, shoot, I know there was a part of my life where I was just like, yeah, I'm black.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Because I don't know my history. You stole my history. I don't know if I'm African American or Indian American or I don't know what I am. You know, but black just keeps you in the nowhere.
It's all we know. It's all we were taught, and I mean, I get
it. So, but then you know we go into jail or prison, and it's a form of slavery. I would argue that we've never gotten off the plantation.
We didn't.
Yeah, that would be my argument. Now we can argue that prison is probably a harsher form and probably more in your face. It's a harsher master.
Yeah.
But I would argue, I mean, if you look at the work structure. Look at the work structure. The employees are all picking cotton, and they're getting paid, but they're picking cotton, and the master, the owner, is the one that gets the money.
And that's the thing, you know, prison. A lot of people view prison as, and it is a form of like a punishment for people who did horrible things. Mm-hmm. But if you really look at it, it's a business, right? Like you were saying, that's people don't consider.
People invest in them things.
Thank you, and that people don't. I mean, I ain't gonna say they don't. It is some people that know that part of it, but you have to understand, like, it's all economics.
Yes,
people invest in prisons. It's all structurally designed. It's so they call it rehabilitation or whatever they call it. Whatever they call prison, right?
Yeah.
Who do you know coming out of prison is even if they go, let's say they go to school in prison, and let's say they have a program to where you can achieve your master's,
which they got rid of, but they used to have that. Okay.
So you have a felony and you have your master's.
Right.
How are you rehabilitated? When you get set free and you're free, you served your time, you did your time, you're good. I did my time. I paid my debt to the society. I'm clean. It should be a clean slate for me. I come out, I have my master's degree and whatever it is. It's still paralyzes and cripples whoever comes out of prison, because you're still put in a position where no one wants to hire you, no one trusts you, you're not given an opportunity. Yeah, you see the oh so special stories here and there on TV, or the one person that gave this guy a fair shot or this lady a fair shot, but predominantly I'll say that's like 97% ain't happening.
Right.
And the other 3 to 2%, you see that. So the whole rehabilitation thing, I'm not buying.
You're seeing what they want you to see.
Exactly.
And you're listening to the narratives that they want you to listen to. You know, when you come out, you know, back in the day when you could get a degree, you didn't come out as a scholar. You didn't come out as somebody educated. You came out as a felon. Exactly. And if you tried to get a job, they didn't care. Oh, okay, you got this. Oh, okay, but you're a felon.
Exactly. That's all that matters.
You know, and it's like, and it kind of relates back to, hey, you're a great person. You know, where you from? You're black.
That's why it's on the application, right?
It is.
Have you ever committed a felony, or have you ever been convicted of a crime like that? It's that they make it seem like,
and then if you lie about it,
yeah, and they make it seem like it's there. Oh, we hire people anyway, and yeah, all right,
right,
okay,
right. We know how that go.
Exactly,
we know how that go. They have to say that, and then you find out that there was somebody more qualified. He wasn't more qualified for real,
not really.
But at the end of the day, he wasn't a felon.
I'm not saying give everybody all felon. I'm not saying you could get people people who don't have any criminal history, but it's also that felony or that prison time that's on your record definitely hinders you from getting an opportunity to be successful or to just have the basic standard of living.
But it's almost like felon means you're nobody, and black kind of means the same thing. Even if you're trying to make black something, at the end of the day, it's better for you to be I've met Africans who have come to America.
Me too.
Who want nothing to do with black people.
No, I had a conversation with several. I grew up around people who were from Africa, literally, that moved here.
Yeah.
And I've been asked the same question. I've been asked the question like, why you? They say, why do you call yourself African American? Mm-hmm. These are literally questions that they ask. Why do you say American? Why do you say African American? Why do you say you African? Yeah. Why do you say American?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they saying it not to be, an ass, but they're saying like why are you like that's like a real question.
They're saying like, don't you know? You don't know who you are?
Right.
You're African.
That's what I'm saying.
And you don't know who you. And here's the thing, right? You don't know who you are. Then what am I talking to you for? What am I talking to you? Why am I wasting my time to talk to you and you don't even know who you are?
I've actually been fortunate enough to speak to some brothers and sisters that was from there that actually tried to enlighten me, man. They weren't so harsh.
Yeah.
I guess good. They viewed me as like, because I always been even growing up, like someone who I guess like seeked information. Yeah. I could honestly say that.
Yeah.
Even as a youngster, like growing up, I always like wondered or looked into things. I don't know. It's just like how I always been. And I guess the older men and women saw that in me, and they just like tried to guide me in the right direction.
Yeah.
Because they turned me on to their culture. They invited me to certain things that they celebrated. They gave me like their food that they had there traditionally. Yeah. And it was all love.
And that's great.
And so that only heightened you know what I mean? Like when you get exposed to certain things, that only heightens your, I was like, holy, like what the hell is that? So I had like foo and like, it was cool as hell. Like I was like, this shit is dope.
Is that the joint you eat with your hands?
Yeah, it's like, it's so good, bro. It's so good.
Yeah.
I don't know how to make it. Nah. But I knock it down. It's like, so I'll tell you that. It's good as hell, bro.
Right.
No, it's really good.
And you know what? I found people like that too who are open to sharing the information if you're willing to listen.
Yeah.
But most of us ain't willing to listen because
it's unfortunate.
Because we black power. You know what I'm saying? And it's like this whole thing. Man, I wish that there was someone who could stand up and in the midst of all this, you know, I got a name and face in my head, but I can't put it all on him. But while we're pushing Black Lives Matter, and don't get me wrong, because
I understand what they're saying, and they're connect.
I get what they're saying too, and I agree. But there's always going to be that hurdle of who's like black. You're still the reason why that cop and the others can sit there and watch, and nobody else like physically stop them. Like, do you really think if that was an Irish person sitting there with a knee on his neck, do you think that other Irish people would have walked by and not physically got involved in stopping that?
It's an interesting question, honestly.
What if he was Asian and you got Asian people walking by? You think they won't physically stop it?
Yeah, I think they would.
But
we traumatized though, bro.
We are.
We're traumatized. It's that fear that was instilled in our. It's a trickle down thing, man. Like but you don't get it twisted. You got some brothers down there that put hands. I done seen it. You got some brothers that'll put hands on them. They see something foul going on.
And I mean,
no, it has to happen at some point.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
I'm not saying go out here and wild out and do stuff that's putting yourself in danger and things like that. But when something is not right and you know it's not right, I'm not saying beat up cops and all that crazy nonsense.
Yeah, no.
I'm not saying that.
Don't.
But I'm saying be more vocal. And I understand you got to play it safe. It's only but so much you can do. You're in fear that you're going to get shot. You can't touch them because they're going to, anything is a threat to them.
Right.
If you yell loud enough, I don't know, but I get all of that. But I do think that we have to galvanize and be more community-based with one another, because like to go back, piggyback off what you were saying, like Asians, and had they seen that, would they just sit back? And I honestly don't know. I could honestly say they probably got dude off his neck.
Well, but
at some point.
But is it even? I mean, isn't it? Is it fair of me to say that wouldn't even happen if they was
Nah, because it happened before already. We just don't know about it.
Right.
It was a cop that sat on the Asian kid's neck or Asian man's neck and he died. We just don't have that information. We don't know about it. And it happened to white people, black people. But I'm just saying in its totality, we as black or whatever are the disenfranchised and the mistreated the most. We are the most brutalized by the so-called authority. The one that's supposed to be, in my opinion, held to a higher standard of conduct, but it doesn't appear to be that way in society's standard for whatever reason. Anytime you could justify like a cop shooting and killing someone in their house and they're outside.
In the wrong house?
Right. There's no guilty. That's it. Like it's
right.
How is your life in danger?
Or they got their hands up and they're walking away from you. Or,
yeah, it's just guilty.
You know, I mean,
people always say like they need better training. Okay, that's cool. But even with training, you can't change people. You could train them however you want to train them, but what they feel inside is what they feel.
You know
inside.
What? They do need better training, but
they do.
But what we don't realize is that training starts as a kid. When you realize that these people who are black and have no connection to anything, they're animals, they're savages. Or no, let me use the words of the news. They're thugs.
Right.
They're criminals. Right. They're looters. They're rioters.
They called when Hurricane Katrina, they called them refugees. I was like, what?
Refugees.
They're from
right.
They from New Orleans. What?
Right.
Yo, come on, man, stop, son.
But
like, that's crazy.
But when people who have a connection to some background, to when they have a connection to something, now these people are fighting for their rights. These people are protesters, peaceful protesters.
Right.
Now these
were peaceful.
You know what I'm saying? Now these people, if worst case scenario, they go off the deep end, they have mental health issues.
Exactly.
But they're not thugs because
not criminals.
Because they have a connection to something. So they can't be thugs because they know who they are. They just went off the rail. But these people who don't know who they are, they're thugs. And then my man Tupac, who I love dearly, goes and says, hey, we're going to make thug life then. And you buy into the narratives and you try to turn something negative into the positive. And we've seen it over and over. How does that work?
It stood for something because he used the alphabets in it. Because I
don't remember.
Because I remember he was saying, "Nah, when I say nigga, I mean what he say?
Never ignorant, getting goals accomplished."
So thug life meant it's something like that with that too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Pac knew his knowledge.
He did, but he tried to do the same thing.
He got caught up though.
I'm gonna take what you give me, and you meant it for good, for bad, and I'm gonna turn it for good.
Yeah,
dude, you're still attached to a boulder. You still got a chain around your ankle. You're not going. Okay, so look, y'all. We can have a part 2 of this, man, because we're just getting started.
We definitely will. Like, we knew coming in, this was gonna be a real good subject to talk about and things like that. But y'all, listen, this is what ultimately this whole show is about. We're encouraging all of us to get in tune with who we are.
Yeah.
We get it. We get the Black Lives Matter movement. We get everything. We get all that good stuff. But learn like who and what you are and where you came from. And that's ultimately the goal.
And look, hey, we don't have no sponsorship. We ain't sponsoring nobody. But, African Ancestry does have, different packages that you can go on and get. And look, like he said, do your homework, pay that extra money, man, and get it done. So hey, if you want to be black or whatever, fine, but know who you are.
Please. That's the whole point of this show, man.
Yeah.
It's straight in your face. Learn where you from and who you are. Learn your ancestry, and we gotta learn, y'all, because what we've been told and taught just ain't it.
Yeah, there's more to the story.
All right. Again, man, this is Jay, and I said I'm Jay. Yikes.
Yeah.
Long day, y'all. Long day. This is Walt.
All right, this is Jay.
This is the I'm Right, You Wrong. We're gonna check y'all next time. Peace.
Right, peace.